Hello everybody, CPU Nerd / Carnage here. Welcome back to my channel. This is the fourth of 5 videos showcasing teams in the Trajann Legendary event. We've stayed fairly low rank before this video, but now we're venturing into raid territory and seeing how far our D3 boss Gulgortz can go in the beta track with only 2 mediocre Silver 1 Necrons as company. Before we get into things, a quick reminder that if you find this content useful, entertaining, mildly enraging, etc., please consider subscribing and watching the full video, since that's what the YouTubes requires as a necessary sacrifice. Also, consider using my refer a friend code in-game as it really helps me out. Let's rock. A user who clearly is running either an Orcs or AdMech raid team was curious how far his D3 boss could get if accompanied by a Silver 1 Makotep and an Iron 1 Tutmos. I decided to bring Tutmos to Silver 1 as well, just because he actually is useful against Gravis armor. As a reminder, for all but legendary characters, I use maxed equipment and skills for their rarity. I tend to prefer Pauldrons over Greaves. Since Boss is a raid character and we're using him at D3, I had no qualms about taking his active to 50 and his passive to 38. His active, for 1 turn, gives himself and all friendly orcs 1 additional range to their movement, an extra hit with normal attacks, and extra damage with normal melee attacks. He also summons 2 orc boys to the field. The orc boys at level 50 are equivalent probably to G3 units. Their active is super useful at clearing mobs, and they're very tanky with loads of armor. His passive just adds extra hits with his ranged attack, but triggers even when he performs a melee attack. It's not super important, and getting it up to level 38 means just 1 legendary badge per level, so it's not a bad stopping point. He's using a legendary 11 knife, a legendary 11 block item, and a legendary 1 booster. I'm not going to bother with the bozos. They're both rare 4-star Silver 1 with level 26 abilities. On with it, you gits. Let's start with Battle 6, which is still pretty straightforward. At this level, even Makotep and Tutmos are quite handy. There's not much to do here. Even when suppressed, Boss still kills anything and everything on the battlefield with a single shot. So just make sure you summon the boys and don't plant yourself on razor wire and you'll be fine. Battle 7 is probably similar to 6 in that you don't need to think too hard. In order to avoid dealing with a map full of IG infantry, I personally prioritize the Vox casters when possible. However, if I have the chance to take out an Ultramarine who is adjacent to a caster, I'll do that and hope for battle fatigue to trigger. Honestly, the only hard part of 7 is how long it takes because of all the airdrops the casters call in. Battle 8 requires a bit of thought. My first attempt, I just YOLO'd it and it did not end well. Instead, what you're aiming to do is keep Boss to one side. I chose the left, and preferably take out any high ground snipers that pop up. Your next course of action should be to get adjacent to any suppressive fire so you stop taking suppressive bolter damage and instead take piddly physical damage. If I do happen to find Boss adjacent to a heavy intercessor, I try to target something else while staying adjacent, if possible, since their melee attacks deal single-digit damage to a D3 boss. Oh, if you get worried about surviving, there's a single hex in the center of the battlefield that has both high ground and tall grass. It's not the worst camping spot. Finally, 9. I hate this map. If you have a full squad, it's super easy to rush the spawn points and essentially win by default. But with just 1 real unit, the Necrods are dead weight by this point, it's not possible to rush the spawn points. And also, the center is all low ground, so trying to camp there won't help, but camping further away just opens you up to sniping. Anyways, my luck / skill ran out here. I think getting through Battle 8 here was pretty good, and it shows how versatile some raid characters can be. Coming up next, showing how completely non-versatile another raid character is. 1 more video to come. See you on the other side.